Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Here we go again. Another week. Another dollar. Well, no, not another dollar. That used to be. Another day, another dollar, right? The adage. You working? So here we are starting out with lots of unfinished projects. It's driving me crazy. I have so many things going on, right? I have fleece that is in various stages of processing. I have knitting, of course, I always do. You know, I have other things other than fiber that are right now like garden and mowing and the outside stuff. Hubby spent the entire day. Oh, and I forgot to post that picture in Discord. Can I do that right now? Let me see here. Long story short, we had a blow while I was on the stream on Sunday. Remember me saying, "Oh my gosh, the wind is really blowing. It got really dark." Well, during that time, a huge limb came down out of a tree directly across our lane. So, to leave the house, we actually had to go around, drive on the grass, and get back up on the lane. Not a big deal. Fortunately, the ground is secure and not muddy and all that good stuff. But, yeah. Uh-oh. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. I don't like what happened. Let me do another one here. I'm trying to go to Shutterfly. There. That's what I wanted. Why didn't I get that before? All right, now. Let me see if I put I know I put the pictures in here. Where's my photos? Because I sent it to my daughter and everything. Yep. All right, let me download this. Download. Okay. Oops. I have to have that up in order. Up, right. Onto the desktop somehow. There we go. Alright, I got what I wanted now. I should have done this before. Okay, I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember how to do this part. Okay, I'm going live scene. There we go. That's where it's at. You guys will be amazed when I can finally get this. Will you drag there? No, you won't. Aww, little copy paste. Alright, let's do it this way. This is the way you want me to do it, isn't it? Yes, this is the way you want me to do it. There it is. Open. Okay, there we go. there we go. All right. Let me go back to my face here a minute. Okay, so as I said, this whole thing was down across the driveway and lane. And we have on the, if you're driving out away from our house and going to the street, all right, on this side we have massive nut trees. I don't get many nuts, the squirrels do. We have several trees that aren't really good for humans. I mean, they're not a good nut. They're called heart nuts. Squirrels love them. We have a walnut tree that we just don't have a good weather or weather for it. It's trying. We have pecan trees, which if we sprayed, we would get good pecans, but we don't ever spray, and they are taller than our house. I mean, they are massive. But this limb didn't come from any of those trees. I'm just giving you an indication of how, when you see the picture, you see it so much on one side and so much on the other side with the lane going down between it. It's almost like going through a tunnel of green. Okay. On the left-hand side is all the bushes. These are flowering bushes that I planted 30 years ago. And when I planted them, they were little twigs like this, right? And they are massive. And hubby has not cut them back for 2 years, so he's working this last couple weeks on cutting them back. But it's a never-ending project, and they're just overwhelmingly big, right? When they bloom, they're beautiful, and I have different kinds. There's a mock orange, there's crepe myrtles. Trying to think what else is wisteria. No, not wisteria. That's a vine. The other one, the yellow one, forsythia for the spring. Okay, so yeah, they're pretty when they bloom, and they sort of bloom in sequence. They don't all bloom at once. Anyway, there's a tree growing in that mass of bushes, which has happened because the birds have dropped the tree seeds and they've sprouted, and they're in the midst of all those bushes, and we don't really see them, and they get a good start, and all of a sudden we look up and there's a big tree there. Well, there's a big tree there, and this limb came off of that. It went, from the left-hand side down across the lane. So now you know. That's the whole story. That happened on Sunday while I was streaming. We didn't know about it until Monday. We went out Monday. I forget what we were going to do. I can't remember what we were going to do. But anyway, we had to go out on Monday, and when we went out, it was like, where did that come from, right? Oh my God. And then all day yesterday, hubby cut it up, and it was full of green limbs with leaves on it, right? And now they are stacked all over what is basically in front of our porch, the front yard, between our house and the cornfield. And they're just stacked in big piles there. He will eventually burn them. But my goodness, it has just been, it's been something else, I'll tell you. And it's cleared. The lane is cleared now. So, now you know what the picture is when we go in there. Okay, today we're going to do a little show and tell with the locks that I remember a stream about 3 streams back where I laid Shetland locks into nylon net and got them, I said, ready for washing, but keeping the locks intact. Well, now you get to see what the locks look like after they're washed, because I washed them yesterday and put them on the drying rack, and we have fluffy little piles of locks that I can comb with a dog comb, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So this is supposed to be Tuesday crafting day, but the first hour or so, maybe a little less, but at the beginning here, I'm going to be doing some information about doing this lock prep for spinning. Then after that, I have a sock that I've one done and I'm working on the other one. I'm on the heel flap, and so I will try and knit on that. All right, I'm holding this coffee cup like it's going to give me any warmth, and it doesn't. It's a thermal cup. So anyway, the day is cold. It's chilly. It says it's 68, but you know, fortunately, don't have to turn the heat on. It's not like so cold that we have to turn the furnace on, and I don't want to be running the furnace in June. That's just ridiculous. But we also haven't had to run the air conditioner hardly at all for the last 2 months. There was a couple days in the early part of May that I turned it on just briefly, but it hasn't been on for a couple months now, which is wonderful. That's really a saver on our electric bill. All right. So, on my table here, you see some locks and the dog comb. And underneath my picture here, you see the lane where this in the middle is not a bush. The lane doesn't come to an end. It is the tree trunk. And that, I thought I was getting real close, and I didn't. I didn't catch, I wasn't standing that far away from it. But it looks like it is in the picture. Okay. Do you remember, if you've watched the stream, that when I was doing these locks for washing, I had 2 different methods? One method was the nylon net method that I talked about, and I did a lot of locks that way. But I had the plastic berry boxes. These are what, like, strawberries come in, and they're plastic and they're open, open work. And I laid the locks on the bottom of one of those baskets, only did 1 layer, put another basket on top, put a layer of locks in that, put another basket on top, and I did 6 baskets that way, with the last basket not having anything. And that sits right in the depth of water that I use when I'm washing the locks in the nylon net. So I wanted to show you the difference. This is Shetland that I was talking about, and these locks right here are the ones that I did in the berry baskets. And I need to get several examples here. Let's go with, whoops, I just lost one. Let's go with that. Yep, I just lost one. That's the thing. I'll get it. Okay, so these are locks that were in the nylon net. You can see they're not as intact. They're not in total disarray. There definitely has lock definition on all of it. And we've got some dirty tip here. There's some discoloration to the tips, right? But on the whole, that is very nice and clean for fleece. There is no lanolin to it. These were in the berry boxes. You can see that the crimp lasted longer and remained. It didn't get scuffled around by the nylon net. It just stayed flat where it was. It had a little pressure on it, and it had the opportunity for water to go through. But as you can tell by the difference in color, this is not as clean. And that is because the water really doesn't get in to the lock well enough in the berry baskets. So I'm not going to do any more in the berry basket. I have these, and I am going to spin these, and I'm going to comb them right now. But I wanted to show you that it's a quick and easy way to do the locks, but it isn't as effective as taking the time to fold them and sew them into nylon net pouches, and then put that whole nylon net into the sink of soapy water, and that's how it gets clean. So I am going to save an example here. I need a piece of card or something. And tape. Where's my tape? Here it is. All right, let's do it this way. Shetland locks. Washed. Berry box. Well, all right. Let's do it this way. Nylon net. All right, that just goes into my box of stuff that is, samples of purchased fiber that I spin and all that. I will keep that as a reference. I'm familiar with it, but sometimes show and tell is really nice if I'm talking about it in various ways or whatever. All right, to comb these, put these back. I mean, I'm really looking forward to combing the ones that were in the nylon net. Not so sure I'm looking forward to combing these, but I'm gonna have to see if I can move the camera a little more like this. All right. Get my trash can underneath me here. Yep. I will try and now I always do the tips first. I go a little further back than halfway. Turn it around. Do the other side. And the cut side doesn't comb as well, and so I do on top and underneath. Now this is ready to spin. I just grab here. You start at the cut side, just grab here, pull, draft, and spin. Get very fine. And Shetland's really good for this. These are a nice size locks. You don't have to do individual locks when they're small like this. You can hold a couple together. The really is essential though that you no longer see any of that crimp in the lock. I do try to lay these the same way, but I forget and don't do it. In most cases, 2 times each end of the lock is enough. Sometimes it takes more on the tips, and as you can see, the tips are coming off. See them there? Right there. So, if you're a beginning spinner and you don't have a drum carder or a set of combs, which are an expensive investment, worth every penny if you are going to be a lifetime spinner like I have been, and especially if you like wool and fleece from a sheep, straight from the sheep. So you want to save your money, not send it out for processing, but do it yourself. Get a drum carder or set of combs or both, like I have. In fact, I have several sets of combs in one drum carder. I have hand cards. I have all this stuff over the years. My hand cards I hardly ever use. Hi, good morning. Big Limb. You had when was yours? Mine was Sunday. Is when that came down. I was streaming when it came down on Sunday. Yes. That is a big limb. Hubby has it cut up. He did that yesterday. So it's no longer blocking the lane. Do I have this? I hope I have. I know that the comb is black. It's kind of hard to see. It's not real easy to see this. I guess it is once I have the fiber in my hand. I like seeing your, drop spindle, your Turkish spindle. It's nice. Looks nice, and you're doing a great job on it, Guitar Nut. It's morning. I have trouble with words sometimes in the morning. Now this is, tiring on my hands, so like I said, I do this a little at a time. Besides, believe it or not, a little bit of locks processed this way, you get quite a bit of spinning out of it. It's very much like potato chips. Once you have spun these this way, you just don't want to ever spin any other way. I do, of course, I spin all sorts of fiber, but they are just really fun to spin because mostly they just completely disappear in your hand when you're spinning. Hi, Holly. Good morning. How are you this morning? This is Shetland wool locks that I pulled off and washed. and I will spin them by the lock after doing this combing. I think I'm going to spin this on my Roberta. Oh, speaking of spinning, I started at the very end of last stream, I started a yak silk blend. Well, I sat and spun a little of that after I was off stream. Let me tell you something, that is very hard to spin. It's slippery. It's extremely slippery, and it's short, so it's kind of like it's not as short as cotton, but it definitely has that. You can't do pinch and pull with the shortness because of the shortness. So I ended up spinning over the fold and messing with more of a long draw. And I mean, I just messed with it for a little bit, trying to figure out how I want to spin it. And the other, I am doing it on the Ara. I have 4 ounces that I want to spin to ply with this other wool that I spun. Or, yeah, merino silk. Merino bamboo. But, so I wanted to use the bigger bobbin, so it's on the Ara, but I have to figure out, I keep reducing the pull-in, right? It just can't have hardly any pull-in. It has to have this really light touch of a pull-in. So, yeah, it was interesting to figure all that out, and now I'm not real happy about it. I'm not looking forward to finishing this spinning because I know it's not an easy spin. And it's such a beautiful fiber, right? I was just like, oh, I can't wait to spin this, and then I found this out that it's going to be very hard to spin. It's like, oh, doggone it. There's always something. Yeah, trying to get your brain kick-started. You made me a coffee IV. Boy, I know that feeling. We are having cooler weather, and the cooler weather makes me think of fall and, cuddling in, and it's not energizing at all. Oops. Now, I kind of screwed this lock up. I just grabbed some of it accidentally and pulled it out of the lock. I can get it back into shape here pretty much, but I may lose some. I did. I lost a little bit. It's a very crimpy fleece. See what I mean? When you have it after washing and it's still intact locks, it doesn't look like a lot of fiber, but then you fluff it out or comb it out like this, and it's like, oh, there's a lot of fiber there. Of course there isn't. There's probably about 1/4 of an ounce, if that. It really isn't a lot of fiber. It just looks like it. I think it was Margaret Stowe's book that taught me how to do it this way with merino. This is how she did her merino locks to spin real fine baby blankets. Yarn for baby blankets on their real fine merino wool where she comes from. I think it's New Zealand. Okay, this is the end of what was washed in the berry baskets. And I am going to leave that separate from the other, just in this for the sake of information and experimentation. All right. Now this is the rest of what was in the nylon net. And as you can see, they're really messed up, right? They don't keep as intact as they're intact, but they're still they're pretty messy compared to in the berry basket. But they're cleaner, and that's what I like. And I gotta figure out, let's see here. Oh, I need something. This is what I was spinning on my Nano, which I really need to finish. What is this? Korma. No, it's unknown breed. Probably won't get all of these. I won't even get half of these done. But we will put what I comb into the box and put this aside. And I deliberately chose longer locks for the nylon net and shorter locks. I lost my comb. There it is. Shorter locks for the berry baskets because they fit without folding over in the berry baskets, the shorter ones. So these are longer. And what gets messed up and tangled up is the cut ends. But the cut ends is where you want to start your spinning, so definitely want to get that opened up. It's interesting that no matter what form of prep you do to spin fiber, you have waste. This is probably about the most minimal waste, but when you buy fleece, you don't get the entire fleece in these locks. So your waste doesn't even make it to this step, right? It's you have to wash it separately and process it differently because it's not an intact lock. It's just wool clumped together. it wasn't so hard on my hands. This is enjoyable. I can see some silkiness to this Shetland's locks. Now, the vegetable matter usually falls out when you're spinning, right? I have been sort of trying to comb it out also, but a lot of times it's not really necessary. It does fall out. Oh, it feels very soft in my hands. I don't know what it's going to feel like when it's spun. The non-intact locks I'm combing with my combing system, and it's nice. It's going to be really nice to spin. And, by the way, you can spin locks like this and comb top. They are going to make a worsted yarn. They both will spin that and become a worsted yarn. So technically they're the same processing. Talking about having a storm on Sunday, I looked at my editor for the stream this morning. I had 8 sections to my stream on Sunday. It was dropping frames and starting, stopping, and I didn't know it right at all. It usually tells me, but I'm not really watching when I'm spinning and doing stuff and everything. And you know, I think somebody told me once that I was frozen and I just completely restarted. But there were many other stops and starts, and most of them were just a couple minutes. So it was a really disrupted stream, probably from that storm. Even though I never lost my electric or anything or internet, which is of course the two things that will shut me down as far as streaming. If I lose my electric, if I lose my electric, I lose my internet, or I can just lose my internet without losing my electric. That's the other thing. We have cell phones and we use them through through the internet, because we live down in a valley and the cell phone towers are all above us and the signal doesn't come down. So we use some kind of gizmo that enhances the signal here in our house so that we can use our cell phones. However, we have never felt comfortable getting rid of our landline. And Also, when that branch came down, it took our phone landline down. We haven't called yet because we wanted to get the lane open, and if you know, so the big any kind of utility truck can come down our lane and would be able to get to the house. So we got to do that, but we don't use the landline much. It gets a ton of those stupid calls, but you know, we other than that, but it's just we have no comfort in not having the landline because the cell phones are so iffy here. There have been times in the past where we've had to get in the car and drive somewhere in order to use the cell phone to report something that happened at the house, right? The electric's out or whatever. So, country life. Don't have it real bad. It's way better than it was 30 years ago. When I moved here in this house 30 years ago, it didn't even have, it only had a well. We now have city water, have had city water for quite a while. But it didn't have any furnace, any kind of heat. They had a wood-burning stove in the kitchen, which is the furthest room from everywhere else, right? Yeah, you know, that was one of our very first things to do, was put ductwork and a furnace in. All right. Any questions? I feel like I am sitting in a classroom with people here. Otherwise, I probably am going to not do any more of this. Probably am going to go ahead and do the knitting. That's enough teaching. I went out on the porch yesterday to work on a fleece that I need to pick open before I wash it. It was too windy. I couldn't keep the fleece under control. It's a lot nicer out there today. Oops. Didn't have that all held on to there. This is Yard Spinners. I am a good teacher. However, I would not like being a regular school teacher. I'm only good because I enjoy what I'm teaching, and usually the people I'm teaching, right? Because they enjoy what I like too. They're not there against their will, which I think some kids feel. Yeah, me either. You started college as music education, right? And you switched very quickly. Guitar Nut, I have to tell you, um, there's a local auction house. Oh, immediately realized I did not want to be dealing with public schools all day, every day. Yeah, that's the way I feel too. You're exactly right. There's a local auction house, and they do their auctions online. I talk about it every now and then. That's where I got the linens that I worked on forever, right? And so I have been, of course, watching all their current auctions, and they just started one where they have not a million, they have a bunch of guitars. These are electric. They are the persons that they're disposing of was evidently of my, I don't know. I don't know what they were, because we never know the person, right? We never meet the person. But they collected signed guitars from all of these different people, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna woo you here in a minute. Here, it's my iPad. Let's bring that site. I don't know if I can bring it up. I can bring it up on my computer, but I don't know that I can fix it so that you can see it. So instead, I'm going to use my iPad. Probably will have to sign in, and I probably won't remember. I hate the internet. I love the internet. That's not what I want. See? It didn't give me what I wanted. Oh, I started watching another series. I just saw it on here on Netflix. The Sandman. Neil Gaiman, I think it is. Yeah. Dark, and don't watch it before you go to bed. I'll tell you. All right. It's Wordlow Auction. They do ship, but here it is. Oh, good. I'm signed in. I think. Maybe not. Okay. There's a Chuck Berry guitar. The current bid is $230. There's a Taylor Swift guitar. Current bid is $800. Michael Jackson guitar. The bid is $330. Brooks and Dunn, which is an acoustic, for $60. Tom Petty for $220. Catherine McPhee, unbranded electric guitar. I signed Catherine McPhee. It's only $24. I'm not sure what's up with that. Kevin Chesney, $170. LeAnn Rimes, $32. Bright pink. Another bright pink one is Trisha Yearwood. Rascal Flatts. Oh, Rascal Flatts is only 45. Trisha Yearwood's 55. The band Perry. The band Perry. Signed If I Die Young. The band Perry. 24. Dierks Bentley, guitar. A black acoustic. This is the one I'm watching. I love the music from Lady Annabella. Okay, we have seen them in concert. Are you familiar with Lady Annabella? I love their music. Anyway, Lady Annabella has an acoustic that is only $15 right now. I am watching that. I'm trying to decide. I don't play guitar. I don't know whether I really should be buying something like that. There is the Cheetah Girls guitar that looks like a heart. It's purple. Okay. I have no idea if I can figure out how to give you all a link or not. Get a wall hanger. Yes, I know, but my husband would be, he already thinks I'm crazy because I buy all this stuff, right? But I also have no idea how much I would actually spend on it, and I know this has got until June 20th. It's got another week yet to go, so. Let's see. Guitar Nut, you can tell me if this link works for you. You have too many? Oh, that sounds marvelous. I'd love to hear you play sometime. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. You need to stream and play. Yes, we've just decided that, haven't we, community? Even if you just talk about your guitars, that'd be fun. All right, let's see here. Tell me if this works. You might have to look around for the guitars. There's tons of other stuff too. It's not all guitars. Okay, but Lady Annabella. That is so cool. Seems to. Okay, good. Have fun. You can thank me later. I'm such an enabler, aren't I? Here, buy this fleece. Here, try this fiber. Oh, by the way, here's guitars. Alright, let's see here. I need my iPad for the pattern for knitting. I gotta get organized. Let's clean the junk off this. I'm in the middle of the second sock. I'm in the heel flap of the second sock, and I'm having trouble concentrating on the pattern. I was knitting on it. Where'd it go? It's back here somewhere. Yeah, I was knitting on it when I was visiting my friend Vicky. We were actually at Starbucks because it was Knit in Public Day. I think I knit 3 rows because I was having so much trouble. Okay, so this, I do not have the information on the yarn anymore. I might on Ravelry. Let me double check that and see. Q? No, I think it's in projects. I think I already made a project out of it here. The pattern is called Time in a Bottle. You're kidding me. I don't have it in as a project? Wow. Okay. Let me try Q. Nope. All right. I do better with Ravelry's on my iPad. Let me just go look there quick instead. I don't know, on my big computer screen it just gets all all right, there it is. It's in projects. Okay. Okay, the yarn is Zen Yarn Garden Serenity Sock. That's what it's called. This was a Sock Madness 2021 that was not the qualifier, but I never got it. Okay, the Lady Antebellum guitar is a cheap laminate guitar built overseas somewhere, so it's not valuable. It would be for the signature only and decoration aspect. Okay, very good. That's good to know, and I hope whoever, I hope people can tell that, right? People like me can't, but that's very interesting. Would she have used it though, like one concert, or is it like a giveaway, where you buy, what am I trying to say, cheap something from overseas and then just sign as giveaways? Probably, but anyway, this is called Violet Shimmer, and Time in the Bottle. Time in a Bottle is the name of the pattern. Probably not. It was probably a meet and greet ticket at a concert. Oh, so this is a collector person might have taken it with them. Oh, I see. Okay. Or someone else did it and sold it to the collector. Right. Okay. I gotcha. It's like having an autograph book, only way better. I mean, way more creative. That'd be cool if you were a guitar collector. I mean, if that was a thing, right? I understand collecting. Okay, so this is the sock. Isn't that pretty? And it has this really interesting, very stretchy pattern thing going on. It's a little hard to see the actual knitting pattern. There's a cable running right up there. There's knits and purls, because of all of the stuff going on with the color pattern. But I don't mind that, because what I like the most about the knitting pattern is the texture, right? I like it's squishy, it's stretchy, and it runs down through the heel flap a little bit right here, which is where I'm at. And then you go on and do your actual heel. That's where I'm at. And it's 2 rows, and I'm having trouble concentrating. It's back and forth knitting, and I'm just having trouble concentrating on the pattern. So I'm on the right side, which means row 2. And unfortunately, I don't want this in there, but it's weird. The pearls are on the right side. You do a lot of slips, which means the yarn has to be on the inside. You have little tiny floats. They're not big. They're only a stitch or 2. And we do knit 1, slip 1 twice. Oops, put my yarn on the wrong side. I was going to purl. It's knit 1, slip 1. There's a Dwight Yoakam hat. Oh, see, I didn't, I looked around, but I knew there wasn't. Actually, I think I have something that I have put in. I can't remember that I'm watching. I definitely will buy. Not the guitar, but, When I first look through their auctions, you can make a little star at the top, and then that puts that under your My Items tab, and that helps me just watch certain things. Purl 2, slip 1, knit 1, purl 1. Okay. I am not counting rows on this. It just is go for 2.5 inches, end with row 2.
When you download the Kroger app, you have easy access to savings every day.
Alright,
Shop weekly
our
sales
music
and get
is
personalized coupons to get the most
switching
value out
here.
of every trip.
There we go. Oh wow, a really cool bluegrass New Year's poster from the Gold House. That's here. That's right near me. Oh wait, is it Louisville Gold House? I mean, we have a Gold House, but maybe they have Gold Houses other places. And Grand Ole Opry poster with Vince Gill singing. Yeah, Grand Ole Opry, Nashville. We go through that. I mean, we go through Nashville, going down to Florida. Ricky Skaggs jacket. Sometimes I just watch this stuff just to see what it's gonna go for, right? I mean, that Gold House has to be Louisville because it's a local auction house. Doesn't have to be, but it's probably a local person selling their stuff. We did New Year's Eve one time at our Gold House here. It was a lot of fun, but I can't remember. It wasn't any music. It was ballroom music, right? It wasn't any special person. I'll tell you another place that is country music is Nashville, Indiana. Um, it's in Brown County. We know the area is Brown County, and it's an art area. But they have the Nashville House has a place where they have a lot of people come in and play, and we've done New Year's Eve there too, with music and stuff like that. That was a lot of fun too. One of Louisville's famous ones. Okay, I didn't know that. In fact, I think we're going to the Golf House Thursday. Every other week, they have cigar night, and it's just at an outside bar, right? And they sell cigars, and that's just a thing with hubby. Let's go. and he smokes a cigar. He and I have a drink, right? So, oh man, I know Morgantown. There used to be a fabulous yarn store in Morgantown, Indiana. She retired. She lives in Florida now with no store, but it was called Sheep Street, and Sheep Street is actually a big part of my spinning history because when I came into this area and I was trying to get my Ashford to work, which was the only spinning wheel I had at the time, I took it up to her. I found her, and took it up to her, and she got it working. So, yeah, Sheep Street. Nancy was her name. I don't know. There's probably what has happened is I have been in the fiber thing so much for so long that, my path has intersected with an awful lot of people that are just little drips of memory, right? It's not real close for us to drive, but there's nothing up there now for us to go to because she no longer has her store. I just realized the speckledness of the let's see, purl 2, slip 1, okay, of the yarn, all the different colors. It makes it hard to read the pattern. Usually I could just read the pattern, and I have to keep looking at each the row 1 and row 2 each time because I really can't see it on this. Yes, I've had that same thought. And you know what other thought I've had? Somebody's going to really like the auction when they auction off my stuff. They're going to think the same thing, Yes, I had that thought too. A lot of times the auction is it's just fancy stuff for the house and stuff, and not my style and all that. But this was a collector, and I'm a collector at heart, so. One time back a long time ago, when they actually had auctions at the properties, I went to a farm auction, and one of the things I ended up getting was a journal, but it wasn't really this is what happened today kind of journal. It was an art journal where they did all sorts of sketches and thoughts, and it was all done in pen and ink, and it was just, one of those things I treasure, but I don't know that person at all, right? I just treasure what they did. Their little bit of outlook on life. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I lost track where I was here. Slip, purl 2, no, purl 1, knit 1, slip 1. Okay, I did my purl 2, so I want to slip 1, then I'm knit 1, slip 1. Okay, slip 1, knit 1, slip 1 twice. Your dad and I like to go tour estate sales and find stuff. We're both collectors and both have small houses. Yeah. I don't have a small house. I have an entire upstairs I'm not using. So. I'm not using, but the one room, it's funny, it's 2 rooms because it's part of the old farmhouse, which was 2 up, 2 down. That's part of the old farmhouse. The rest of my house was attached onto that later, okay, in kind of a L thing. But anyway, the 2 rooms upstairs, one of the, it has a standard old country 2-flight, flight up, little bit of a, not balcony, but gosh, I can't think of the word. And then, 6 more steps up and you're upstairs. And you go right or left to go into one of these rooms. But if you go straight ahead, there's quite a bit of still of this hallway, or, stairway hall or whatever, right there at the stairs. And right in the middle of that is a door that, if you would open, would go out onto the roof of the addition, the new addition. It was the back entrance, from what I get of local lore, from some people. It was the outside upstairs entrance into the 2 rooms upstairs, because they were rented out. The farmer, he was actually, there was a farmer that ran a huge dairy herd, and that's where they put the people who worked for him, in those rooms upstairs. So yeah, we have a door that goes out to the roof if we would ever want it. It's just, I think it takes a special kind of person to love this kind of house, because it has a lot of quirks and nooks and weird things and that sort of thing, right? But obviously I like it because I've been here for quite a few years. But one room is hubby's room, with the exception of my 3 bookcases, which he reminds me frequently that, are not his. I'm the one with the books. Those are the bookcases I have been working on clearing out, very gradually. I just took a bunch to half price Saturday when I went to see my friend, because she lives down the road from Half Price Books. Got absolutely nothing for them, but that's how it goes. I have decided that I am going to try just donating books to my local library if they're in good shape, instead of doing half price, because, like I said, they're not paying anything. And I live in a small county. I don't think the the public library has a big fund. I took 1 bag in Saturday also to them, and I was talking to them. I said, don't you ever have book sales, where you make money? And she said, no, we just put them, each branch puts the books out on a cart, and they charge like $1 for a hardback book, because most of them aren't referenced. They're novels that they get duplicate copies of, that when they have reference books, they usually only have 1 copy, and they keep that in the various branches. But anyway, I like supporting the library too. Knit 2, purl 2, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1. No. Knit 1, purl 1. Okay. You like weird houses. One of the goals in the next few years is buy an old historical home and restore it. That's wonderful. Yeah. Civil War era would be amazing. They have them there? Do they? See, our house has fallen apart so bad because it was just a farmhouse, and it was just a clapboard farmhouse, right? I much would rather invest in a place that was brick or stone if I was going to do that. And put money into it and stuff like that. It's worth it then. And I'm sure you watch This Old House and stuff like that. That is a little above and beyond what, because they're a lot of times trying to bring it back to true period, and I'm not so sure I'm interested in true period as much as just comfort and prettiness, right? The type of homes that appeal to me, if you travel in the Midwest, you travel through small towns, and there's always bigger homes, some street on the small towns. Usually it's Main Street, but, and they have big porches. There'll be multiple stories. A lot of times they have a widow's tower, big tower thing, which I love. Those are the kind of homes I really, really like. I look at those and I think, oh, but, I've never actively wanted to push to move anywhere yet. So there are plenty around. They just don't come up for sale often, and if they do, they have already had the cool things removed. Or are too expensive. Yeah, I know what you're saying about, because I might be that cool thing removal person too. Yeah. But I'm sorry, my age is talking right now, because I started in 76 with a small house that we completely restored. And then for a while I lived in California, and that was it was a small house, but it was okay. The only thing we fixed up was one specific area, but because it was a bedroom for my daughter, so we were making it for her. And then I moved here, and I have done a lot inside on this house, but I haven't done a lot outside. And I did a lot inside when I first moved here 30 years ago, and haven't done as much lately. So my age is catching up with me as far as doing that. Oops, I'm on the right sides. Let's do this right here. Pearl one.
my gosh, I almost have this row memorized. Excuse me. All right, I'm going to measure this after this row. I don't think it's 2.5 inches by any means, but let's see what we got here. Oh, well, we got 1 3/4.